Hey guys, welcome back to another F1 2021 video, the My Team career mode journey for Cross GT Racing. We are heading towards the end of the season now. I think we've only got 2 more races left to go, and things are starting to heat up in the Constructors Championship battle. Before we begin, if you do like the content, please do leave a like. Let me know in the comments what you think. And if you're not already subscribed, please do subscribe. It would really help me out and I would appreciate it a lot. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the video. So as I said, we've got 2 races left in this season. We're just tying up a few of the loose ends in terms of development. So we've already shut down the Aero department. We shut that down a while ago once we finished that. Chassis, we're almost done there. We've got one more upgrade to go on, and then that'll be done and we can shut that department down, and then it'll just be preparing for season 4. I will be doing another season of this. I am quite enjoying this game. I know a lot of other creators, F1 creators, are playing F1 2022, but I don't have that, and I'm still enjoying this game, so I'm quite happy to keep playing this. So we've got this one last upgrade to do. We're going to try and rush it before the final race of the season, before the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. We'll see if that goes on. If it doesn't, then it'll still be on for next season. So I'm not too fussed. We've got tons of development points too, and we can't use them because we need to upgrade the power department and the durability department as well. So they'll just sit there for now until next season when we can upgrade those facilities. We're going to be changing some components, so we've been cycling through them to, I guess, try and get to this point where we've got a reasonably good engine left over for the last races, taking penalties earlier on in the season so that we don't have to take penalties at the end. Give us a better chance of just snapping up a few final points. Plus, I do have a lot of trouble with the races at the end of the season, so it's always good for me to have a better engine so I can just make sure that I'm getting the best result that I can. We are going to take some penalties here. Oh no, we're not taking penalties, never mind. I thought we were taking penalties, it just says pending. So we are applying some of the better parts for this race, for the Australian Grand Prix. And just going through the last few things we need to, a simulator, whatever that department is, that department thing. So we get more resource points out of that. Or we didn't get more resource points, we got plenty of resource points. We're trying to keep Coulthard's abilities up, because we really want him to pull through for us at the end of the season with some good performances. We do really need the points as we're heading into the Australian Grand Prix, heading into qualifying. And of course, Australian Grand Prix qualifying wouldn't be complete without a mechanical fault in the garage before we start, so that slowed us down a little bit. We'd have to take some time there for that. Not too much time. It does mean that everyone else gets out on the track before us, which probably isn't too bad. Improve the grip of the track. But ideally getting out early when no one else is around, just to sort of get my bearings and get used to the track with our current setup would be ideal for me. A little bit of a slide there as we go really tight on that corner, but we're holding the thing together. I mean, I didn't really do much practice with softs. I was focusing more on mediums and hards, trying to save the softs, but we'll see how we go on these. We've got plenty of speed here. Signs moves out of the way, which is good. Sonoda does the same. We don't want them holding up our qualifying lap through that chicane there. I've always had trouble with that one, so quite happy with that run through there. Late on the brakes, good run around there. And then we go wide. We managed to go around Schumacher there, so it kind of worked out for us. Around the final corner, down towards the start finish line, and that gets us into P2. P2 here in the Australian Grand Prix, only 300ths behind Bottas. We try to go for another lap. We go purple through sector 1 and green through sector 2, but we just go wide and we end up hitting straight into the wall.
Engine off, engine off.
Which that lap there probably would have put us in pole for the time being. Everyone else improves and we end up P6 for this race. Just under 6 tenths behind the leader, Pierre Gasly. Almost 5 tenths faster than anyone else. And that AlphaTauri takes pole position. Coulthard back in 12th. We do have Sainz and Leclerc at 10 and 11. They're the ones we've got to watch out for, because they're the ones that are putting us under pressure in the constructors. So we have to see how we go in race day.
It's race day here in Melbourne as we continue with what could shape up to be one of the best Australian Grand Prix. We go racing today then in the state of Victoria, where the drivers have 16 corners and 3.3 miles to navigate at an average lap speed of around 120 miles an hour. The close proximity of the barriers makes accidents inevitable, and recent history shows us that a safety car is not at all out of the question. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Pierre Gasly lines up on pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Hamilton, Perez, the captain, and Norris, Ricciardo, Russell, Sainz, and Charles Leclerc, Tsunoda, Ocon, Lance Stroll, and Bottas. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Giovinazzi, Schwartzman, and Guan Yu Zhou, and Nicholas Latifi, Mick Schumacher, Mazepin, David Coulthard. They've taken a grid penalty, and Christian Lundgaard. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
So there is the grid lineup for the Australian Grand Prix. We've been promoted to P5 after Bottas has taken a grid penalty. So I'm pretty happy with that. That's an extra spot that we don't have to fight for. In terms of strategy, pretty straightforward strategy. We're going to start on the softs, try and get out in front if we can, and then just outlast everyone on the hards. Just going for a one stop. We'll see how we go. As we're waiting on the grid now, P5, 5 red lights, and we are off and away, and that is a really good start. Keeping pace with Hamilton and Perez, as we end up having a little bit of contact there with Norris. And
The officials are deploying the safety car
straight into a safety car.
Mind your delta.
Safety car after the first corner. I don't have a replay of it. My replay didn't go back far enough. But essentially what happened is Norris came up alongside and his front left tyre ended up locking into my right rear, and it sent him into a spin, and it just backed up the entire grid.
Behind is 2.2 seconds.
And due to that, he ended up having some heavy contact with someone behind him, which got him a 5-second penalty. We managed to get out unscathed. But we do have a warning for the contact there. I do believe we were 3 wide heading through that first corner. I thought we were only 2 wide. I thought it was just me and Norris. So I thought he had plenty of room. But I think there was another car alongside him. And he kind of just got squeezed there. But safety car all finished. We're now on lap 4, so not a whole lot of racing so far. Less than a lap of racing. But now we're back into it. Still P5. Leclerc though managed to get right up into P6. He's now 2 tenths behind us. We need to keep him behind because Ferrari are breathing down our necks on the constructors table. We had a big lead about 3 races ago over them, but we've just had some really poor performances, a whole lot of bad luck. And now we are in danger of losing our 3rd place position in the constructors table, so we need a really good result here today.
Strategy is available on the MFD.
Alright, Jeff giving us a new strategy after we go purple through sector 3 in that last lap. So a change of tactics here. At the moment we were planning on going into the pits this lap. But obviously with the safety car being out, the tyre wear hasn't been as bad. About 3 laps of easy going on the softs. So we can stretch them out a little bit more. Leclerc looking for a move up the outside. Really aggressive there. Late on the brakes. We managed to keep him at bay. Slow him down a bit too. 7 tenths, 8 tenths the gap to him now. Just managing to hold on and lock up on those tyres there. Braking not the easiest thing to do on a control, as opposed to on a wheel setup. So tyre wear going to be a little bit of an issue for me in this race, as I am locking up quite a bit. Leclerc is right back behind us again. He's looking to make that move. He's going to go up the inside. We're not going to defend. We leave him the space, but he just can't get there. Although he is slowing me down enough that now Sainz is within a second of me. So I've got both Ferraris now right on my tail. Down the back straight. DRS straight. Leclerc should have DRS on me, but I think we've got enough.
So push now.
We've got enough of a lead on him that we're not too stressed about him making a move into turn 1. Tyre wear numbers are pretty high. We're sitting in the 40s and 50s. Leclerc just manages to fly by us there. We're not going to fight that. We're going to let him go. And maybe we can just get him to tow us along. Oh, I lost a little bit of control there on the car. Started to go to the right and I kind of just had to go with it. Otherwise I risk going into a spin if I try to correct it. Luckily we didn't hit the wall, take any damage. It has cost us some time now as Leclerc is now out of DRS range. And now Sainz goes past us as well.
Come on, you can win that place back.
So the tyres are definitely seen better days. So definitely going into the pits this lap to go on to hards, and hopefully we can undercut all the other front runners who should be staying out a little bit longer on their softs. Into the pits we go as we watch Leclerc and Sainz race away. But we should be able to catch back up to them when they go in for their pit stop.
Complete, go now.
A really good pit stop there from the team, 2.1 seconds.
That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops.
Alright, so only pit stop of this race. We've got 20 laps to go on these hards, which should be easy going. I haven't had a whole lot of racing time with these hards on this track.
Yellow flag.
So still getting used to
There's an
the
incident
handling.
in the next part of the track. No overtaking through the yellow flags.
There's Norris. Norris is parked up there. He had 10 seconds worth of penalties. He must have taken an extra penalty after that that spin at the start. But Norris is now out of this race. Looked like it was some sort of engine issue, as he was just parked up on the side. So unfortunate for him, an unfortunate start and an unfortunate end to his race. As Bottas now he's probably the biggest one to lose out in the beginning of the race. Even with the penalties, he's now back in. He's in P13, fastest lap for him on the softs as we take our very first track limit warning for this race. We've managed to catch up to Leclerc and to Sainz, who are now both on hards as well. My hard tyres have warmed up pretty well. Theirs still new, probably still quite cold. We go wide through the chicane, but this time we don't manage to hit the wall, but we almost collide. Well, now we've hit the wall.
For a new strategy option.
We did manage to almost collide with Russell.
Got that confirmed.
Yeah, so now we've got, not only do we have to deal with a spin and losing a couple of positions, but we've also taken some front wing damage, which means a front wing change and onto medium compound tyres, which
Release.
probably will not last us the rest of the race. So we are still looking at another stop,
Up to speed
so a
now.
potential
Let's get
3
some
stop in this
those
race
tyres.
unless we can nurse these tyres to the end, which is going to be pretty hard, but we're going to give it a go anyway. Back in P21, it's going to be a battle to get back up through the ranks, but we managed to catch up to Schumacher pretty quickly. We take the inside, make quick work of him. His Haas on those hards. No match for our Cross GT racing car on the mediums. His Mazepin's in the pits now, so we managed to claim another position there.
The gap behind us is 2.4 seconds.
Right, 2.5 seconds to Schumacher, so we've pulled away pretty easily, but it's a massive gap to the rest of the pack now as Lundgaard is 16 seconds up the road in the train that he's a part of, and then from there it's probably another 16-20 seconds
Available on the MF.
up to the next group as we've just clipped the wall again. A lapse in concentration,
Confirmed.
and we've clattered into the wall again. Only minor front wing damage, but it doesn't feel too bad actually. I thought it was going to be a lot worse, but it's not too bad. So we're going to stay out. We can deal with this. It's not really affecting us too much. Maybe a little bit of drag. It might be a little bit slower, but in terms of handling, the car's still turning really well. So we're going to stay out. We're going to push through and just see if we can get these tyres to the end. This front wing not really affecting us at all. Still taking these turns reasonably well. The braking has definitely been affected.
You're increasing the gap to the car behind by a few seconds per lap. Keep this up.
So pulling away from the two Haas's, and we are now in single digits for the cars in front. Lundgaard has managed to get ahead of Latifi, but he's now under 10 seconds where he was about 16 seconds a little bit earlier. So still making some pretty good time on these guys. It's really not going to be enough to get us through to the points, but if we get a safety car, we might be in with a chance. We might have some of the other cars coming in to change tyres for the last part of the race, maybe going to softs. Or we might just be able to capitalise on the rest of the pack bunching up as we make quick work of Latifi there.
David in the pits.
Right, so Coulthard's now into the pits, and he was running pretty well this race. He was hanging with the Mercedes, the two Mercedes there, and also the McLaren of Daniel Ricciardo, but he's only just coming out of the pits now. He's lost a lot of time, and he just came out of the pits not long ago, and now he's out of the race. An engine failure of some sort. There he's parked it up on at the end of the back straight, but no safety car there for that one. Just a yellow flag, and then we're back to racing. So we've now only got one car on the track, and it's currently sitting P17, which is not good. Alright, so we are going to be going into the pits. Just give me the softs, guys. Give me those softs. There's an issue getting that front left off. Change the front wing as well, which is not going to help us at all. I wish there was a setting where you could just choose to not change the front wing. So you just hit in there, change the tyres and be out. But after that we've now lost another few seconds, and we are miles behind anyone else. We've already been lapped by the two Red Bulls. We're in danger now of being lapped by Pierre Gasly, and we also have the two Ferraris tailing along behind us as well. So not a good race for us, not a good race for the team, and this is only going to make things harder. It's only going to make things harder heading into the final race of the season, where we're going to need a massive performance there in order to have any hope of maintaining P3 in the championship, unless something happens here and the Ferraris have an absolute meltdown. But they've been racing pretty well so far this race. I don't know what's going to happen to them. I don't know if anything really is going to affect them at the back end of this race. We're looking at pushing for a fastest lap here on these softs that we just put on. Purple through sector 1, green through sector 2. And we're running pretty well through this final sector. Coming up to the start finish line, this is an absolute belter of a lap, and we end up pulling off a 1:23.7, a new fastest lap, almost 3 seconds faster than our previous best. And we're actually managing to close the gap to Latifi as well. He's only 2 seconds ahead of us. He's right there. We've gone purple and green again through sectors 1 and 2. Around the final corner, down the back straight. Can we go even faster this time? We can. We go purple through sector 3.
Fastest lap of the race so far.
A 1:23.4. So we have the pace. If only we had the luck, and if only we didn't lose 2 front ends in this race. A little bit of contact there with Latifi, who's doing everything he can to block me. Just move out of the way, mate. Let me through. We have to go onto the grass. We're side by side. He finally concedes and we get ahead. So we're now P17, but there's only about 3.5 laps left in this race. We're not really going to be able to make any moves. We have been pulling away from the 2 Ferraris, and then from Pierre Gasly. Of course, they are on hards and we are on the softs, so we should be able to pull away as we go wide again through the chicane, and we spin again, and we just managed to move out of the way of Latifi.
There's 5 laps of fuel remaining.
Well, if our race wasn't over before, it definitely is now.
Racing the car behind. Let them past when you can.
And now Pierre Gasly and the 2 Ferraris have managed to catch up. We go wide again, and another crash into the wall. This has been an absolute nightmare of a race. Our bad luck continues, following from really bad performances from in Brazil, and I think the race before that, I think, which would have been the American Grand Prix as well, I do believe. But this is not good for our championship hopes. We're already out of the running for the drivers now. And the constructors, P3 and the constructors, looks like it is going to be a very tough one now. Across the start finish line to end the race. 1 lap down. What a horrible day it has been here today. Charles Leclerc getting driver of the day and possibly gaining P3 in the constructors for his team.
The superb Australian Grand Prix comes to an end, and it's a thoroughly deserved victory. And talk to me, what do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
Well, they played the safety car to absolute perfection. There are so many factors to worry about once the race is neutralised. Do you pit for fresh rubber? Do you have the space behind you? How much fuel can you save? If you answer all of those questions correctly, you'll have a good chance. And that's exactly what happened today.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everyone at the team.
So there we have it, a double podium for Red Bull here in Australia. Max Verstappen taking the win. Pierre Gasly manages to get up onto the podium. He gets P3 after starting this race in pole, so that's a massive performance for him. But the more important thing, Sainz and Leclerc managed to pull off 4th and 5th. 22 points for Ferrari in this race. We managed to get the fastest lap, but we are P18 at the end of that race. 1 lap down. Coulthard DNF for him, and no points for the team this weekend. We have been dropped to P4 in the drivers as Verstappen managed to get up into P3. Hamilton 21 points behind Bottas now. He has to win the next race if he wants to claim a 9th World Championship. Bottas, he's on point, and he could end up claiming his very first Drivers' Championship at the end of this season. Ferrari have displaced us now. They're now 10 points ahead of us after the 22-point haul they gained today, dropping us to P4 in the constructors. We need a big performance in the final race of the season. We need both cars in the points if we want to have any chance of taking P3 back from Ferrari. It's going to be a big race, but I think we can do it. We've prepared for the final race. We've got one more chassis upgrade left to go, which hopefully will be on in time for the final race. A ultimate tyre wear upgrade, which hopefully will help us a lot. But we need to gain a 10-point margin on Ferrari and then claim more points above that to stop them from taking P3 away from us. But we will have to wait and see what happens with that in the final race of the season in the next episode. Hopefully we can get rid of some of this bad luck that's been hovering over us, some of these performance woes, and pull out one last really good performance in the final race. We've had a good string of finishes in the middle of the season. It's just a shame that we haven't been able to maintain that through these last few races. Would have made things a lot easier for us heading into Abu Dhabi. But that brings us to the end of this episode. If you did enjoy it, please do leave a like. Let me know in the comments what you thought, and if you're not subscribed to the channel already, please do subscribe. I would really appreciate that. And I hope to see you all on the podium in the final race of the season, if we're extremely lucky. But yeah, I'll see you guys all in the next one when we head off to Abu Dhabi for the final race of Season 3. Thanks for watching, guys.